From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A young man's death leaves a family reeling. Our Edgar Cedillo talks to a cousin about having to deal with what the future holds. And gas prices are dropping, but only slowly. At 6:37, get the prediction on how much further the price at the pump might go down, and why those high prices are bad news even for those selling the fuel. It is 6:30 on this Tuesday.
Ooh, that's
the
a
sun is up.
brilliant
Isn't that a
shot there,
lovely
yeah.
shot? Community Hospital of Anaconda giving us that picture into the mining city.
Yep.
Southwest Montana is on. We're looking for a medium, well done kind of days for the next
It's
couple.
working that direction.
Yeah.
We're really looking at the beginning of that warm up today. So be prepared. If your kids have camps or whatever, make sure they have plenty of water, the sunscreen in their little backpack or cooler or whatever they're carrying along with them.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Chill out a
a
little.
tough one. Yeah, temperatures into the 40s and 50s. We don't have a lot of humidity to deal with here, so you know that. Yes, it's going to be hot, but that means that dehydration sneaks up on you a little bit. You don't realize you're sweating quite as much. I'll get off my soapbox. Temperatures today going to be near the 90-degree mark for the afternoon. A lot of sunshine. The heat really beginning to pour in for the day today. We'll talk about our chance of thunder showers over the next few days in just a few minutes.
It's a dry heat and it's still hot.
That's right.
There
Yeah,
you
but
go.
it's a dry heat.
It's still hot, yeah. 6:31, our top story this half hour. It's been 4 days since a 19-year-old man was found stabbed to death in a Bozeman home. MTN's Edgar Cedillo spoke with some members of the victim's family.
Talking with Lesman's family, they say he had just celebrated his 19th birthday last week. Many of them still can't believe that he is gone.
Eso es duro, 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 duro.
It's hard. I was eating around midnight when they notified me. A friend told me, Elmer, they killed Lesman. I told him, get out of here, you're crazy. It's not true. Tino, the dad, was crying outside.
Loco, le dije yo, la palabra de nosotros. No, de veras, ahí está Tino llorando afuera, el papá allá.
Shock for a family processing the loss of 19-year-old Lesman Joan Escobar Andara after being killed last week.
Nadie, la familia de nosotros, cree que Lesman.
No one in
Es
our
cierto.
family can believe that it's true
Porque
because he's a kid.
Es un
I
niño,
mean,
hombre.
look.
Lesman,
Finding out the news left Elmer Suazo in disbelief.
Lesman se nos fue,
Lesman left us. The
No,
guy
se los
didn't
ha ido
leave
el
us,
muchacho,
he just got ahead of us.
se los adelantó.
Suazo has been a rock to help Lesman's dad cope during this tough time.
Y yo le digo a mi primo de que
I tell my cousin that we need to
de que le
get
echemos
going
ánimo
to
y
move
ganas,
forward because
va,
what we are
porque
going through is
Es
hard.
duro lo que estamos pasando.
Not only does a family in Bozeman mourn, his mother back in Honduras mourns thousands of miles away without her son.
Se siente feo.
It feels
siente feo,
bad,
un vacío
an emptiness
que
that
dentro que no
fills,
tenés una
that you
idea.
have no idea.
Te voy a decir que era el
The kid always
cipote que
helped
le
her
ayudaba
out.
a ella.
He was her right
Era
hand.
su mano derecha. Era su mano derecha.
Suazo remembers a fond memory of the first time working with Lesman after moving to Bozeman 3 years ago.
Nosotros llegamos a trabajar a Vizcay.
When we first got to
Alegre,
Big Sky to work,
porque nunca
joyful,
habíamos
because
visto
we
la
had
nieve.
never seen snow.
Se
They
tiraron
threw
en el bulto
themselves
de
off a
nieve y se
hill of
rodaron.
snow.
Hasta una
They even
cartera
lost their
parece que habían
wallet that
perdido ese día
day.
ahí.
They rolled down that very first
Se
day,
rodaron ellos el
joyful.
primerito día
We
que
weren't
íbamos
going
a
to be in
trabajar.
the
Se
heat
rodaron
anymore. We were
alegres
going to be
los
in the
cipotes.
cold.
Ya no vamos a estar en acá calor. Ahora vamos a estar en el helado. va.
At the end of the day, Suazo thanks the community for the support they have gotten.
Bozeman
Bozeman
me ha
has
ayudado.
helped me out. Bozeman has
Bozeman a
helped
mí
me
me ha
out in so
ayudado
many ways.
en mucho.
The family is trying to return Lesman's body back to Honduras. They have a Zelle fundraiser set up. We'll have a link to that on our website. In Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Edgar. 6:34 now. FEMA has paid out more than $300,000 to people affected by flooding. The agency still has more to give. MTN's Jackie Coffin has the details on a new way to find what assistance may be right for Montana flood victims.
Help recovering from the flooding may only be a form away. And if you or a friend or a loved one needs in-person assistance in navigating this process, check out one of the disaster recovery centers now open across the flood zone.
4 weeks out from the flooding disaster, and people across the flood zone are picking up the pieces of their lives and asking questions about who can help them.
So we're sort of a one-stop shop.
Now setting up in empty schools from Fromberg to Gardner, FEMA, the Red Cross, and other state and federal agencies will be available to offer in-person assistance 7 days a week.
It's against the law to duplicate benefits with insurance, and so even though you file insurance, you may still be eligible for other FEMA programs and for other services. So we want everyone to apply.
As of Monday, FEMA has identified 287 applicants eligible for individual assistance. A lot of claims are still in progress, but FEMA says $326,000 has so far been paid out to people across the flood zone. In trying to help recover costs, Louise Porter with the U.S. Small Business Administration says people may not even realize how many options are out there.
Well, people never realize that during presidentially declared disasters such as this one, the U.S. Small Business Administration provides low interest rate loans for homeowners and renters as well as businesses of all sizes.
What FEMA and the SBA stress is apply early and to all of the options available. You don't have to wait to be rejected to try another option.
We've already had an approval.
Disaster recovery centers waiting to help. All you need to do is stop by.
But we want you to come by. We're here for Montana. We're here for the people affected by disaster.
In Absaroka, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
6:36 now. Many across south central Montana continue to recover from the devastating floods. But for one Montana veteran, the process much slower than anticipated. Now, this is video we all remember. Mike Kinsey's house of more than 40 years being swept away in Park City. Almost a month later, he's now frustrated by the lack of help. MTN's Haley Monaco caught back up with him. Find out why he's so frustrated.
Nearly 1 month ago, this home here was ripped off its foundation by the Yellowstone River. Now, a large portion of it is 5 miles downstream. Although the water has receded, the man who owns the property is unsure of where he will go next.
And when it fell, this thing started just popping and cracking and
This was the moment Mike Kinsey's home toppled into the Yellowstone River, a home he built by hand 40 years ago with a chainsaw and some telephone poles. Little did the 73-year-old veteran know, this is where it would end up, 5 miles downstream.
there was a tree sticking out of the river, and I think it just caught it and it just started hanging up there, and the current pushed it back on those rocks where it's sitting right now.
Kinsey took us out on the Yellowstone River Monday on his boat to see exactly where his home ended up. Small sections littered the shoreline.
It's more part of my house right there. A big part of it, actually. Yeah.
But this is where his bedroom and bathroom landed. He says seeing it is crushing.
It almost panics me a little bit. I've got so much of my life sitting right there that I don't have now, and you know, not only for me, but for my boys and for everybody. It's gone forever.
Kinsey thought he had flood insurance, but is now being told he isn't covered. Making matters worse, he says he also hasn't been contacted by the agencies helping with flood damage.
Which I may have to declare bankruptcy, I may be forced to sell it. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
For now, Kinsey has been staying in motels and now plans on moving into a friend's camper on his property, but he knows nothing will replace his home of more than 40 years.
You just have no idea how special it was, and I was very, very, very blessed to be able to live there for this amount of time, and now I ain't, but I wished I was in a better situation going away.
Near Laurel, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
All right, 6:38 now. We've all been paying the price at the pump. Gas has been dropping thanks to a decline in oil prices and demand, but experts warn the relief may be temporary. Newsy's Stephen Gradick has the details.
After seeing gasoline prices spike over the last 3 months to a national average of $5 a gallon, there is a welcome dip at the pumps. The Wall Street Journal reports prices have fallen for 24 consecutive days. AAA says the national average is now $4.72.
The primary reason is within the past 2 weeks, we have saw demand going down with folks not filling up as much as they used to within, the prior weeks before.
Fears of a global economic slowdown have sent crude oil prices tumbling, and prices at the gas pump are starting to reflect that.
They are lowering prices. They're just doing it at a slower pace. A lot of people think when prices are going up or when they're high, stations are making boatloads of money, but that's not the case at all. The higher prices go, the less they make.
Prices can't drop fast enough for people who have changed their driving habits and travel plans.
It's frustrating because you're limited in everything you do. You can't make the trips you do. You can't drive as far as you used to.
But the price break may not last. This is usually a heavy travel month.
Typically in July, we see demand creep back up. And as you know, most of the time, if demand creeps up, so does the gas prices. But right now, we're still in such a fluid situation. We just don't know.
Experts say other factors that drive prices up are the summer hurricane season and power outages that could disrupt refineries. And the war in Ukraine is an ongoing factor in oil prices on the global market. For ways to save, AAA suggests keeping an eye out for fuel reward programs, pay with cash instead of credit cards, and get rid of unnecessary weight in the car that affects fuel mileage. Stephen Graddick, Newsy.